Hello, great people. There is no more corruption in Nigeria. In fact, Nigeria is a corrupt-free state. Those were the words of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Brazil. And this has generated a lot of reaction, so much so that Nigerians are calling the president a liar and they are criticizing his assertion that there is no more corruption in Nigeria. In a moment, I'll leave you to watch the video of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's statement while he was addressing his Brazilian counterpart, President Lula da Silva. When we come back from watching the video, then we'll be dissecting the issues. Is there truly no corruption in Nigeria? I will be giving you the instances of monumental, barefaced corruption in Nigeria, and also we'll be looking at the reform that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu claims is working. Are those reforms truly working? And what are the dynamics that shaped the president assertion in Brazil? We'll be doing all this and more on this episode of Politics with Joshua Plug, Dr. Omoshola. First, let us go and watch the statement of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that there is no more corruption in Nigeria. Then we'll come back for some great discussion. Let's watch it.
It's necessary to emphasize here that the reform that I've embarked upon since I took over in Nigeria has been very impactful. I can beat my chest for that. It was initially painful, but today the result is blossoming. It's getting clearer to the people. We have more money to the economy, no more corruption. We have the governor of Central Bank here. You don't have to know him before you get the foreign exchange that you need. The speculators are out in our currency market. The door is open for businesses. Easy in, easy out.
There you have it. No more corruption in Nigeria. But there's a video on your screen right now whereby the policemen were allegedly counting money that, if you look at that particular money, is about maybe 300,000 to 400,000 naira. That is the Nigerian police force counting money that is allegedly bribed, and the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is in faraway Brazil saying no more corruption in Nigeria. Is that true? Based on the video that you are seeing on your screen right now, I would be addressing the issue of this corruption head on, because I have a lot of instance for you apart from that particular video. And also I would be telling you about the reform that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said is working. But what first come to mind before I give you more instances as regards the corruption is that, well, Mr. President, do you remember when the former president Goodluck Jonathan said that stealing is not corruption? Do you remember how, when you were in the opposition at the time, the way you guys roared at the president, the way you guys instigated Nigerians against the then President Goodluck Jonathan, the way you guys made a show out of it? You see, this is nemesis catching up with you, because what President Goodluck Jonathan faced at that time when he said stealing is not corruption is what you are facing now when you said Nigeria is no longer corrupt, that there's no longer corruption in Nigeria, whereby in the true sense of it, corruption is walking barefooted everywhere you go. Now, apart from the police video, let us look at another instances of corruption before I go into the reforms that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said it's working. You will recall that the presidency said funds have been distributed to Nigerians, and there was a time the Minister of Finance disclosed that funds have been distributed to households in Nigeria. There was a time I heard of about 200 and something billion. There was a time I saw another 17 billion. But the shocking aspect, and I am asking you as a politician, please, if you know anybody that have received money from government, I look forward to reading it in the comment section, because ever since the Tinubu boys have been saying, oh, money have been distributed, I'm yet to see one person that have benefited from that fund. And there was a time I made the calculation that if truly funds have been distributed, then that means that 1 out of 8 Nigerians would have benefited from that particular fund, because the presidency said that 25 million Nigerians have benefited, and Nigeria is about 200 million population. So that means that 1 out of every 8 Nigerians would have benefited. But then I know a lot of Nigerians. My family are more than aid in terms of extended family, but I'm yet to see one person that is the beneficiary of those funds. So what do we call that? Is that not corruption? Is that not barefaced corruption, walking naked in Nigeria? Another thing is, recently you will recall that there was an issue that evolved from the House of Representatives. The issue involved that rep members, honorable members on the floor of the House of Representatives were bribing, were made to offer money before they can present their bills, and the man said sometimes they pay between 3 million naira to 1 million naira depending on how fast you want your bill to be processed. So imagine, what do we call that? That in the federal legislature of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, despite their humongous budget, a lawmaker will come out publicly and challenge that if I'm lying, they should come and tell me, anybody that says I'm lying should come and face me. Imagine that. So what do we call that? If as a lawmaker you need to bribe before you can get your bill or motions to be read on the floor of the National Assembly. Now, I'm taking it from the top, because if I'm to go to the middle or to the lowest cadre, in fact, everywhere go scatter. But let me pick it from the angle of the government. Since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said there's no corruption in Nigeria, if I'm to go lower, definitely everywhere will be scattered, because the corruption is something that you yourself, you can test. Just walk into any office, walk into any government parastatals, just walk in there and you want to do anything. If you are not faced with any kind of corruption, if you walk into 3 offices and in Nigeria and you want to do something or process something, and you are not asked to give bribe or to do anything that will aid and abet corruption, then you can know that the president is saying the truth. So it's something that every Nigerian can put to test. Let me give you another example. Another example is the Lagos-Calabar highway that was awarded by the president himself. That particular highway that was awarded, number one, the cost of that highway is monumental. And you see, government project is always expensive than that of ordinary citizens, and that is another analysis for another day. That's why if you are yet to subscribe and make sure you always participate in my live session, because that is where I have opportunity to dissect all these issues in depthly. Now, the Lagos-Calabar highway, coastal highway as they say, if you look at it, the process of awarding the contract, what do we call that? If there is no thorough bidding and the contract was awarded to your friend in a company that your friend's company, Seyi Tinubu is allegedly one of the board of directors of that particular company. What do we call that? So I'm picking it from the home of the president now. So if you say there's no more corruption in Nigeria, what do we call what allegedly happened during the awarding of the Lagos-Calabar highway? Another one, let's go into it, is the ICC renovation that was then renamed Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, that Nyesom Wike claimed they spent 39 billion naira. From what people are saying, people that have been there, they are saying that they are not seeing the 39 billion present in that ICC, that Nyesom Wike allegedly scam Nigerians and the government. If that is true, what do we call that? If that is not corruption, that 39 billion was spent, and it is not to rebuild the place, but to furnish the place. And people that have been there, like Isaac Fayoshe, the junior brother of Peter Ayodele Fayoshe, they said they are not seeing the effect of such money in that particular place. Another instance, Mr. President, is the Wike land grabbing exposés. You will recall that recently, People's Gazette have been releasing a lot of exposés as regards their land grabbing of the Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, and the land grabbing activities run into billions of naira and millions of US dollars. So if with the CFO and the document that they are exclusively reporting, if that is not corruption, Mr. President, then what is corruption? So your case is not different from the time of Goodluck Jonathan, when he said that stealing is not corruption. Now, let's go into the reforms that Mr. President talked about. Tinubu claims that the reforms have been impactful. Well, Mr. President, I don't know the people that are giving you such information, but I can tell you that as somebody that is versed with political economy, you see, government reforms is for a purpose. Anytime government embark on a reform, I wish I'm on a live session, so please always try to join my live for in-depth analysis. You see, when government embarked on any reform, the end goal of that reform is to make life convenient for the ordinary people. And Bentham and Mills, political scholars, they assert that government exists and take action for the interest and benefit of the majority of the citizens. So if that is the case, then the way we can measure whether your reform has been impactful or not is by the trickle-down effect on the citizen. Are Nigerians, ordinary Nigerians, are they feeling the effect of those reforms? The answer is no. So not until ordinary Nigerians benefit from your reforms, it is yet to be impactful, because those reforms were ordinarily taken for the benefit of the masses, the hoi polloi, the talakawas, the mekunus. Not until those people feel the effect of those reforms, not until it trickles down to them, then we can say that that reform has been impactful in the true sense of the way you are emphasizing it and being braggadocious about it, that, oh, your reform has been impactful. Another thing is that there is unprecedented poverty. So if you are saying your reform is impactful, where is there unprecedented poverty that is now triggering insecurity in Nigeria? There's a connection between hunger, poverty, and insecurity. All of them go hand in hand. If there's poverty, there's probability that there will be high insecurity, and that is what is manifesting in Nigeria. What are these reforms that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is talking about? You may be wondering. Well, the reforms are the removal of the subsidy on forex, foreign exchange, and the removal of the subsidy on petrol. Now, another thing to look at this reform is that you see the products, although they are now available, but then they are not affordable. Look at it. No, the products are available but are not affordable. Dollar, you met it at about 500 naira. Now it's about 1,600 naira. It is available but not affordable. People cannot afford it. Now look at the price of petrol. You met it at about 180 something. Now it is around 1,000 naira. It is available but not affordable. So you can't say that your reform is impactful. No, your reform has only benefited your government. Your reform has only benefited the ruling elite, the ruling cabal. But the true people that the reform should benefit, they are yet to benefit from it. So you cannot say that such reforms have been impactful. And if you are to say it, you are not supposed to be braggadocious about it. That is one thing that I can tell you, Mr. President. Another thing is that you see this kind of thing that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is saying. You see, the president needs to be very careful. Don't go and say it in the presence of somebody like the US President Donald Trump. You know that Lula da Silva, the president of Brazil, may be kind. He may let it go. He may let it fly. But somebody like Donald Trump will not let it fly. You will recall that when the late former president Muhammadu Buhari visited the United States, Donald Trump told him to his face that Nigeria is a corrupt country, that there's monumental corruption in Nigeria. And if what happened to the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, if it is anything to go by, it shows that Trump can confront you when he thinks you are lying. Because when Ramaphosa visited Trump, what did Trump do? He brought out a TV and he was playing what was happening in South Africa in front of the South African president, and that one was now acting like a defendant. He was defending himself. So if Trump can do that to the South African president, definitely he can do worse to you. So Mr. President, be very careful any day you meet Trump, because so that you won't be calling on Nigerians to kind of like come and defend you, and Nigerians won't feel embarrassed. It's been an interesting time with you. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.